G'day cocktail lover, what can I get for you? Ooh, what do you have in the way of Easter drinks? Well, there's a few ways you can go with Easter themed drinks depending what you're in the mood for. I got a few days off, why not try them all? I like your enthusiasm. After all, what would Jesus do on Easter? Get hammered. Well, really? That's the product of 10 years of Catholic education. A priest told me that joke. Did the nuns tell you jokes as well? Yeah, nuns tell jokes all the time, but I can't repeat them. Nuns are filthy. I'll take your word for that. Back to the drinks. What are we doing in the way of drinks? Well, just remember, after I make these for you, if you feel inspired to make them at home, go easy. You don't want to hit it too hard, or you won't be able to rise on the third day, if you know what I mean. Is that a resurrection joke or an erection joke? I think I'll start with a shot. I rarely make shots. They can be fun, particularly if you work a theme. I'm going to do a shot that's inspired by the look and, to an extent, the flavours of one of my favourite Easter treats, the cream egg. I love those things. They're really decadent. This will be fairly decadent too. So the cream egg has three components: the yellow yolk, the white, and the chocolate. So I'm going to layer a shot with each of those colours. I'm going to use this device, which sits on the edge of the glass and eases it in and makes it a bit easier to layer. Because I'm actually really quite bad at layering shots. That's wild. Where did you get that? A friend 3D printed it for me, and incidentally, she's doing a redesign and then she'll be selling them online. So come back and check with me if you want one for yourself to do layered shots, and I'll tell you where to get it. For the yellow layer, we're starting with some advocaat. This is an egg-based liqueur. It's a nice flavour and is pretty easy drinking, seeing we're going to knock this back as a shot. The volumes you use for the layers will depend on how big the glass you have is. I'm going to do about an ounce for each. So this will be, first up, 30 mils or 1 ounce of advocaat. Ideally, the layers would have gone yellow, white, brown for going from the yolk to the white to the shell, but I found through experimentation, this actually sinks below the cream liqueur I'm using. So the next layer, some brown creme de cacao, going to add another 30 mils or 1 ounce of the brown creme de cacao. My final layer is white. I'm using this Disaronno Velvet Cream liqueur. You could use the cream liqueur if you just help. You could even use cream. That might be heavy enough to actually sit in the middle, but I wanted to use this. So the final layer is 30 mils or 1 ounce of the Disaronno Velvet liqueur. And there is your reasonably layered cream egg Easter shot. Bottoms up. Oh, benefits of being an adult. That's better than anything I ever got on an Easter egg hunt. Alrighty, what's next? Another style of drink that's popular around Easter when you're theming drinks is something that's creamy and rich and desserty. And that's what this one is. I found it on the Difford's website and it's called the Egg-Cellent. Dad jokes in the cocktail bar. Yeah, bartenders find it pretty hard to resist puns, as in this case, the Egg-Cellent for Easter eggs. But this one is a bit more grown up than the shot. I'm going to start with some brandy. I'm going to use this Martell Blue Swift. This is actually a VSOP cognac that was finished in bourbon barrels. Because of the strict rules around cognac, they can't actually market it as cognac because they did that, but it's really good. So I'm starting with 30 mils or 1 ounce of brandy in a shaker. To make this one a bit decadent and desserty, here comes some more advocaat. And for this one, we're actually doing 2 ounces or 60 mils of advocaat in our shaker. The next recommended ingredient is yellow chartreuse. I'm actually going to substitute with a local product, Advocaat Gold. I really like this. It's a good stand-in for yellow chartreuse, but you may go for yellow chartreuse yourself if you make this at home. But I'm going to add 15 mils, half an ounce of Advocaat Gold. The final touch to give it some chocolatey notes is some chocolate bitters. We're just going to put about 1 dash, somewhere around 8 drops of chocolate bitters in our shaker. We add ice to our shaker, put it together, bang it in hard, give that a good solid shake for about 15 seconds because you really want to integrate that advocaat. We could strain that into a chilled cocktail glass, but for a little bit of Easter fun, I'm going to give it to you in a decapitated Easter bunny. Yeah. Ooh, Well, that's nice. I'm kind of worried I'm going to lapse into a sugar coma though. We still have one to go. This is the most grown up, the least desserty. Although, being an adult means you can have dessert whenever you want and no one can stop you. There's no laws or nothing. But what I'm going to do is an Easter old fashioned. Basically give an old fashioned a bit of a chocolate boost. Now, if you want to make something like this, go with a spirit, a base spirit that evokes Easter to you. And that will be different for different people. Some people get really strong chocolatey or even coffee notes from some whiskies. Some people might prefer a rum or a brandy. I'm going for this rather special one, a very limited edition I got from a local distillery, Tiny Bear. They call it Hot Cross Buttered Gin. So when they were distilling the gin, they used a bunch of botanicals that evoked the flavors of the fruit and spices in a hot cross bun. Then after distilling it, they aged it in a bourbon barrel, which is where it gets its color, but then they infused it with butter. So it's a buttered hot cross bun. It's pretty awesome. It's essentially, that's fat washing. You can do fat washing with anything that's got oil or fat in it. In the case of butter, what they do is put the gin and the butter in a pot, heat it so the butter melts, stir it in so it all is integrated. Then you freeze that, and then it's really easy to take the frozen fat off the top, and your end product is infused with the flavors of the fat or the oil that you put in. It's pretty neat. But, so we are going to do a gin old fashioned for Easter. The first step is 2 ounces of our hot cross buttered gin going into a glass. This is so easy, I'm just going to build this straight in the glass. The old fashioned is pretty straightforward. It's spirit, sugar, and bitters. Normally you'd use actual sugar or a sugar syrup as the sweetener, but again, to just bring this up to a bit more Eastery, I'm going to use some chocolate, some brown creme de cacao as the sweetener in this. I'm going to do half an ounce or 15 mils of brown creme de cacao. The final touch, a bit more chocolate, some chocolate bitters, just a dash of chocolate bitters in the glass. In terms of garnishes, I like to get an orange peel, express some oils over the top, wipe it around the glass, drop that straight in, and let's be really decadent, I'm going to get a maraschino cherry on a skewer and use that to stir the cocktail in the glass so it's ready to serve. And there you have your Easter old fashioned, or maybe it's an old fashioned Easter. Oh, I like that. Oh. This seems really dangerous. You put a lot of booze in here and it's disturbingly easy to drink. Oh yeah, particularly with sweeter drinks, you want to keep track of how strong they are. Know what you're actually drinking, because it can sneak up on you, and if you're not careful, it's just really going to get you, and it could be your last supper. I'm really sorry that was the Catholic education again. I just had to get one more biblical reference in there.